All right, hello everyone, and welcome to episode 15 of the Pennywine podcast. Woo!
Yes,
We got a lot of beautiful movies for you today. Slasher is the name of the game. Jake, did you have a great month?
I did. It was good. Christmas and stuff was pleasant. I got or my brother got me one of those. Well, my brother and sister they got me the Freddy Krueger tiki mug, and it's
Oh,
amazing. It's really
well,
cool. I haven't used it yet, but
since we're talking about Christmas gifts, my dad got me this Alfred Hitchcock doll. Hold it up for it, Mike.
oh, I can't see it. It's all I can see is your bar background.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
We'll show you after the stream. But
Yes.
yeah, kind viewers, Tasha's mom, dad, sorry, horror goodness, buy things, yay,
Yeah, it's an Alfred Hitchcock
great
doll,
start.
and it has like the raven and all that with it. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Cool. Well, Tasha's going to announce the movies today. We're going to shake it up on you guys, all right? It's 2021, all right? We're leaving 2020 behind. We're starting new stuff. Go ahead.
All right, so we're going to start off with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 1974. Then we're going to jump into Friday the 13th, and then A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors.
Yeah. And if you're watching and you notice it's in the wrong order, it's because I put it in there while Tasha was asleep. So I didn't know she was going to just now announce it in the wrong order. I thought we were just going to roll with the wrong order, but okay, I guess we can rearrange it. So you said Texas Chainsaw and then Friday the 13th and then Nightmare on Elm Street 3?
Yes.
Chronologically,
All
that's how
right.
we're doing it.
So we're jumping around. So Chainsaw Massacre is first, and this one is Jake's wreck. And I know I said massacre on purpose. All right, comment about that. Let me know how wrong I
Well,
am.
that's how it should be pronounced. That's
Yeah,
phonetically,
if you guys hear
that's correct.
Molly in the background, just letting you know, like she's way more attached at the moment, so we can't like take her away. So she's gonna be there. She's gonna be back in the background. So.
I can't see her. If I just see a random face pop up behind you like in the green screen, I will be terrified.
Well, you might hear more noises from her than anything, so.
Yeah, she's back there cooing. She's like, she's making
She,
background ghosty noises.
well, I'm sure Molly loved this movie and it made her hungry to have some beef jerky and barbecue. So, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out in the early 70s. Basically, it's it opens with like a this is a true story of murder and gruesome stuff, like a voiceover guy, and then you find out that somebody's been digging up graves in Texas, and this group of like teens or early 20s are driving through because they want to see if their grandfather was dug up, and I guess he wasn't, and then they go to well, first they pick up this crazy hitchhiker who like does some crazy shit, and then they go visit their grandfather's abandoned house, and they run out of gas, so they go to the neighbor's house to try to get gas, and it turns out that's where Leatherface and the crazy family live, and basically he just kills them all, and they make like barbecue out of people, and then the one girl um, eventually gets away. I, yeah, there's not much plot to this movie, like if you just talk it out, but
Yeah,
damn, I love this movie. I'll say that now.
yeah. There's a lot that I like about it. It definitely makes one squeamish to watch when they do self mutilation. There's something about that for me that makes it difficult to watch self mutilation over just like somebody else doing it. I don't know why. It's like worse. Feels more realistic, I guess.
Yeah. Like, is there a particular scene? Like, are you talking about like in the van when the hitchhiker like cuts his hand and stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, he does that, and I think he does it one other time near the scene where let me think here. Near the chair scene, I think, where she wakes up and she's tied to the chair.
When he was
With
cutting her fingers.
Yeah, but I thought he did something to himself first, or maybe it was
Maybe
just
he,
her fingers.
didn't he, like, cut his face or like, his cheek or something, or is that a completely different movie? I don't remember.
His
But yeah,
cheek
he
was already cut, he didn't. But he did cut
okay.
his hand, and then he cut, the guy in the wheelchair's arm.
Franklin, one
Yeah,
of the
Franklin.
greatest horror characters ever.
And then you kinda got squeamish when they put that one girl at the beginning on the hook.
Yeah, that's woo. I was like,
Yeah, that
ah.
yeah, that's the one thing, like, I think that's for me, that's the reason this movie works so well is I think the low budget and just the graininess of it, it feels more like you're watching it feels more real than just a movie, like a lot of other big budget
Mhm.
horror movies would do.
I liked, seeing the different ways Leatherface, like, dressed up, like, one minute he's like a butcher kinda deal, and then the next he's like a woman, and
Yeah, it was fun, like, because he has the when he's the woman, he has the makeup on, so it's like
yeah,
because they were having dinner, he was dressing up and trying to look nice for dinner, and, like, yeah,
yep,
it's and, I think I've said it on the podcast before, but Leatherface is the only, like, slasher that actually kinda scares me. I think mainly because he's a big guy and just the sound of the chainsaw, and it's out of all of the slasher movies, this feels the most like it could happen. Like,
mhm,
I
Right,
this would
right.
be a real fear of, like, driving through the backwoods of wherever, and
yep,
you accidentally go to the wrong house and just get murdered.
yeah, I could see
Surprise.
that one.
Yeah, I agree with that. I like the part where they were exploring the abandoned building for a while, and there's something about that sequence that's kind of nice. And I also remember, no, that wasn't that one that had a bunch of Warners. Never mind. That was Friday the 13th. So never mind on that one on the
Are
Warners.
you mixing your movies?
I was getting the wires crossed because, to be honest, I know you guys are big fans of like this genre. I like them, but like I couldn't go on like a marathon of them. Like I could go on a demon movie marathon, but with slashers, to me, they all feel really similar.
She wants to change her color. I'll be right back. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. For me, though, this and, like, some of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies are these are the slashers that kinda stand out, like, this one specifically. I think for me, this is the scariest slasher movie I've seen, um, like and still
Do you?
to this day, every time I watch it, like, the last, like, 45 minutes when it's just the one girl running from Leatherface, that is just there's just so much tension there, and I'm always kind of like even though I know it's gonna happen, I'm always on the edge of my seat.
Do you feel that way about every version or just this version?
Just this version, like, I mean, I like the second one, and I've seen the most of the remakes and the newer ones, and they're alright, but I think how the reason this story works so well is because it just feels like a snuff film almost, you know? It doesn't feel like a Hollywood movie, it just feels like I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. I think it's partly the graininess, like I said, and, like, the score, like, the music in this movie, there really isn't any, it's just kind of, like, dissonant noise. Like, it'll be, like, a pig squeal and, like, some metal clanging, and to me, that adds to it because where, like, a normal movie would have, like, this giant, like, musical crescendo when the jump scare happens. This movie, it's, like, dead silent when Leatherface pops out, so it makes it feel more like, I don't know, like a documentary or something in a way.
At the end, do you think the
Wait.
truck? Oh,
No, I'm sorry. I just wanted you. Tasha went AFK there for a second to get Molly's thing. We were talking about the differences between the different versions, and I wanted you to be able to get a chance to weigh in because I remember you had a lot of comments when we watched the movie about liking the newer versions more. So
I mean, that has nothing to do with the.
okay, never mind.
Anyways, um, do you think the truck driver at the very end escaped, or do you think Leatherface got him?
I I think he I think he escaped because I think they
The biggest mystery.
Yeah, I don't know why the guy didn't jump into the back of the truck with Sally, because he literally ran right by the truck, but
Yeah.
'cause I
Yeah.
think I think he got away because I think after the first movie, like, the family gets caught, or I swear there was, like, a post-credit scene of, like, cops looking through the house and stuff, but maybe I'm wrong. I didn't
I think you are thinking of the remake on that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because we
you're
were watching the, extended cut version because I got Tosh with the Blu-ray collection.
You're thinking of Friday
Oh,
13th?
man, again.
we're all crossed. I
I'm
guess all
sorry.
the slasher movies are the same. You're right.
But anyways, Jake's your
Well, we
thing
have no credibility on this podcast, sorry.
uh
Mm.
you're thinking of the remake though, Jake, because that happened at the very beginning and the very end of the
Yeah, okay.
2003 version.
You're
Tosh is the
right,
only
yeah.
one who fucking knows what she's talking about. Jake
That's
does too.
that's why I recommended Slasher Month.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know if I have, like, anything else specific to say, like, I the only negative I'll say about the movie is I wish, like, the main characters, the kids in the van had more of a personality, like, even a little bit. I know they wouldn't have had time to really flesh them out. I mean, I I liked Franklin a little bit just because he was kind of funny, but he was also annoying. But, like, he was the only one of them that was even somewhat memorable.
Yeah, and I felt like the director when he made this movie, I felt like he could have spaced out the kills a little bit more because it felt like he had them all close together. Like in the first few minutes when they were at Leatherface house, he got the girl and that one guy, Kurt,
Yeah, and then,
like
like, 10 minutes later, the
yeah,
other guy.
yeah, and then Franklin, and it's like could space it out maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree. I think but back to my point about this not feeling like a movie, I kind of liked that just because to me it felt more like that's what would actually happen. Like they would all go look at the house and they
Hmm.
would all get killed. But I mean, as far as a movie, you're right, it is kind of slow for the first like 40 minutes or 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then the but I think the first time I watched it, I thought the chase, like, from, Sally, I think, or Al
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
Sally is
Sally.
this movie, Alice is Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Um, but the scene where it's just like, once Franklin dies and it's just her running, that goes on for, like, 40 minutes. It is
Yeah.
kinda long.
Yeah, it definitely could have been cut a little bit right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I think I've run out of things that I can
Yeah,
say.
I mean, yeah, I'm good. Jake, you have any more on your movie?
well, the only other thing is just the thing I said about the main characters not being fleshed out. I think they put all of the effort into fleshing out the crazy family because I think Leatherface and the hitchhiker and the dad they all were like very uniquely crazy in kind of a funny way. Like just the the hitchhiker, it was a very like over the top performance, but it felt like I was all in for it. Like when he's talking about head cheese in the van and
Yeah.
stuff, it was just kind of stupid. My one of my favorite parts though is when she goes to the gas station at the end and the dad like beats her with the broom, like she's
Hmm.
got the carving knife and he just like keeps smacking her and then when she's in the car in the sack, he just like, "Oh, calm down, don't worry." And then he stabs her with the broom and then she screams and he goes, "Calm down, calm down." Like I don't know. I liked that stuff. There was some good kind of like over the top crazy humor for me.
Yeah, I liked that they focused a little bit on the family, but I wish they focused a little bit more on Leatherface because in the remakes they focus more on Leatherface than the family.
True.
So,
Yeah, Leatherface I mean, he is just kind of the background character in
yep.
this movie.
Hmm. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. I felt the whole time that it was weird that they killed up all the characters really fast and then had like the one left for a long time. But it does kind of add to the fear factor a little bit. But yeah. So you want to go into ratings, Jake?
Sure, yeah. Um, I really like this movie. Just it's one of the like scare to me. It's still one of the scariest movies I've seen, just because it feels like a snuff film that you're actually watching. And every time I watch it, just the tension of kind of the ending when it's Sally running away from Leatherface. It still works for me every time, and just like the weird dissonant musical score is great. I think it adds to it. Um, just everything, and oh, there's, like, that subtle, like, undertone of, like, vegetarianism type of message in the movie that I don't know if it was intentional or not, but I think it's kind of a it's kind of a cool, like, uh, subtext, I guess, for the movie to have. I think it gives it, like, a little bit more of a deeper meaning than some other slasher movies would have. So all that long-windedness to say this gets a 9 out of 10. It would be a 10, but I wish the characters would have been a little more, like, fleshed out and three-dimensional.
Right. Yeah. Okay. 9 out of 10 from Jake. What about you, Tosh?
Um, this is not my favorite slasher movie. I'm not gonna like totally hate on it. Um, I do like the remakes a little bit better than the original, mainly because the slowness. But I think I'm going to give it an average score of 5 out of 10.
You
Okay.
know, I liked a lot of aspects to this movie. I think I liked it a little bit more than Tosh. So I think I'm gonna give it a 6, but lean towards a 7. Just because I really like the practical effects and it does make me squeamish. So just choose one of those, and that's the official one. I want to give it a 6.5, but you know
So
what?
you give it a 7. Done.
All right, fine. Give it a 7 then for you.
Okay. All right,
All
Friday
right,
the 13th.
Friday the 13th.
All right, your movie.
Yeah, so I recommended this movie. So I almost don't want to do a summary in front of Tasha because I know that she's gonna freaking correct me the whole time, but I'm gonna do it. It's very intimidating. She knows everything about these movies, but I will do my best. So Kevin Bacon goes to I'm just kidding. It's just him by himself. He goes to this camp, he's not famous yet though, so the paparazzi's not there. All right, I'll stop. I'll stop.
And he
Uh,
gets killed off, like, 2nd or 3rd.
yeah, yeah. But kicked off his career pretty nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so okay, bunch of counselors come to this facility. They're getting picked off one by one, all that stuff. The Jason's mom is the one doing it. You kind of think it's the curse and that it's Jason, but it's just Jason's mom in this one. Jason's not actually in it, save for the dream scene in the end. But some argue that that doesn't count. So I'm going to say it that way so that either way I'm correct. Um, and yeah, so the movie's just about them getting killed one by one.
What's her motive for killing?
So it's because the counselors were just like having sex instead of watching her kid, and it caused her kid to drown. So then she's getting revenge on the counselors. Thank God. Whew.
I'm gonna say you
I didn't even
can't.
look it up
I'm gonna
either.
say you can't leave out the motive.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I'm omitting a lot of details this time because I figure we can talk about those parts in the review. This movie, I didn't notice the other times that I've watched it, but it has a lot of
Hold on.
hold on, Molly's yeah. It has a lot of like oneers, and I really like that. Like whenever I'm, making like my crappy independent stuff that I talk about every now and again, it I always like to do that, and it's crazy hard to do. But some of the shots linger for so long, and it happens so often that I love it. Like one that sticks out to me is when she's like making her tea or whatever, and then she goes into the cupboard. She gets like a prop, she gets like the sugar out, and she goes back over, and it's like 2 minutes long without cutting, and I'm just like, nice,
Yeah.
nice.
I
Just
I like that to a point. Like, I get what I get where you're coming from, but for me, I'm just like, "You're just wasting my time." Like, you're just padding out the runtime. So, like, for me, if it builds tension, but if it builds tension, I'm alright with, like, doing, like, the kinda ancillary, like, things and, like, to just build the tension that they don't know that Jason's coming to get him. But she knows full well that, like, somebody's trying to kill her, and she's just making coffee for, like, 2 straight minutes, and I'm just like, "Get it together." Like, somebody I guess it's not Jason, but somebody is coming to kill you.
Yeah, and I never understood why in these type of movies, why the characters ever return to the place. Like I know they have to, otherwise the rest of the movie would have to take place in the forest and
Yeah.
stuff. But like, if she just ran into the woods, she'd probably be okay, especially in scenes where the lady, Jason's mom, doesn't see the which direction she's running, and she turns around. I'm like, this is your opportunity right now, and you go back. Why?
Yeah, well, I guess she doesn't know that it's Jason's mom, but yeah, like I guess as the when the audience finds out that it was Jason's mom, it's like, well, she knows the camp better than anyone probably, so that's the worst place you could hide.
Yeah,
But
and then she just like okay, so she's trying to get her after the tea scene or whatever. After she, oh yeah, and also that long shot where she's plugging the door, where she's like putting a bunch of crap in the
oh
door, but
yeah,
it looks so ineffective. And like where she ties the rope, and I'm just like, nope, that's not gonna work. It doesn't. It's not a good tie. And
I
then
I did like that scene though. That was good.
yeah,
Like a
no,
good use of the
that
long shot.
yeah, I just the tea thing was the first example that came to my head, but they did that constantly, and even with acting sequences, they did that. So I liked that. I think it requires extra effort. You're not just using the best take out of like 30 takes for each line and doing a 50-50 reverse. Where it's
Yeah.
zoomed in and it's like blech, it's like the same crap. No, it's actually pretty creative in the angles that it takes and the just the wonders. But anyways, she leaves and then she comes back within like such a short time. So she's Jason, right, in this movie. So she leaves, she drives her. So I guess she just like puts her car in reverse and backs down the road, and then like comes back. I don't know, or either that or her car was parked like way far away, and she just pulled it closer and was like, "I'm here to help you. You're gonna let me in now."
Yeah, like I I the first time I saw this movie, I didn't have it spoiled for me. I just assumed it was gonna be Jason the whole time, and then the twist actually worked on me.
Mm,
But it is like, a
yeah,
as a
same.
movie, it feels kinda like a cop out that it sets it up like it's a mystery. It's like, "Oh, which is it the owner of the camp, the blonde guy that was at the diner? Is he the killer?" They I they give everyone an alibi or, like, a lack of alibi, like, somebody won't be in a scene, but then somebody else shows up dead, so you're like, "Well, was it that person?" But that's just all thrown out the window when this new character literally just walks in 10 minutes before the movie's over and says, "I'm the killer." It's like, "Well, who are you?" It's felt kind of, like, cheap. It was like a cop out
Yeah,
almost to me, like, I felt like they should have introduced her earlier or something.
Yeah,
yeah,
because the most things you saw was just her hands or her boots
yeah.
until the end.
Yeah, and it's like it literally in my knowledge, to my knowledge, that they don't really hint towards it either. It's kind of comes out of nowhere as far as like her. It's not
Yeah.
like they met her at the gas station on the way up, like Scooby Doo style or anything. Like I don't know. It's just like she's just kind of the first time she shows up is when it's the big reveal, yeah, Jake, you're right. It worked on me as well because I already know what Jason looks like. I mean, he's like a horror icon. So like the first time you watch it, you are unless you were alive back then, you know what Jason looks like before you go in, and so you almost think you watched the wrong movie when you
Yeah.
first see it. You're like, wait, what? And then you find out like that he actually comes to life in like the next one, and
Well,
it's
let's be
similar.
real here. The second one, he doesn't look like he does now. He actually has a sack for a mask and with
Yeah, the
I
potato
overalls.
forgot
sack.
about
So
that.
he
Forgot about the
technically
taters.
doesn't. Technically doesn't have the hockey mask until the third one.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like
that's
halfway
an
through the
excellent
3rd
point.
movie, he finally looks like the
Yep.
himself.
And I feel like, at the very beginning where they show the campers, playing the guitar, I felt like that would have been also another good time for a flashback to show that Jason drowned because you don't even know anything about this kid until the end,
That's a good
really.
point.
Yeah, I They do plant the one little seed, like, when, the girl that's getting driven up to the camp when that truck driver guy, like, he briefly, like, glosses over, "Oh,
Right.
some kid drowned." So, like, they technically mention it, but yeah, it's like there
It's
was
like,
no we were given no context to think anything else of that.
Yeah.
let's all say Ralph is our favorite character. I love Ralph.
Yeah, he was I thought it was gonna be Ralph, like, part of me the first time I saw it,
Steve the
which
Kayak King. Kayak King.
Oh, yeah, that's a better movie than this. You Might Be the
Oh,
Killer.
I do love You Might Be the Killer. I think it's like watching this again, and I know that one was our very first episode, so it was a long time ago. But that movie now feels like a direct parody of Friday the
It
13th,
is.
and not
Yeah.
like, well, I always viewed it as a parody of the entire slasher genre, but not just directly Friday the 13th. And sorry for that, Molly's she's irate. She's not feeling great today, so.
Mhm.
Yeah. So Tasha's gonna talk for a second. I'm gonna go. Okay. So
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I like this one, but it's just certain things on it that they could have done a little bit different.
Yeah, Mike was talking about how, he liked kind of the long lingering shots and stuff, and I
Mm,
I said that, like, I'm the opposite. I just felt like this movie wasted so much time. It's like there's like, 20 to 30 minutes of really good, like, tension and kills and scares and stuff, but then there's an hour and 10 minutes of just, like,
yep,
nothing.
yep,
It
agreed. Um,
I
One of my favorite scenes though is when all the lights came on in the archery.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That one was pretty intense.
And, like, when Alice is, in the ammunition building, like, and she's trying to hide but also get guns, when
Yeah,
Mrs. Voorhees turns all the lights on there, like, that was actually kinda scary because I was like or that's the only time I felt like, "Oh, yeah, that would kinda suck if that happened to me." That would be pretty
yeah,
terrifying.
no, agreed. Um, have you ever seen the 2009 version?
No, I watched, like, half of it one time, and I was just like, "I can't do this."
It's nothing correlating to the first one, like, at all. Like, it feels like it has a little bit of the other movies mixed in. So, yeah, I didn't think it was very good. I've only watched it, like, the one time.
I I do need to watch it. I mean, I've seen all the other Friday
Uh,
the 13th at this point, but, like, Friday the 13th is not my favorite slasher series. I think it's actually my least favorite. I think because I think the only one of these movies I actually, like, genuinely enjoy is, like, probably part 4 and maybe part, 9. Oh, and Jason X. Like, Jason Goes
yeah.
to Hell and Jason X, I like those, but this one, it's like, the influence of this movie is, like, a 10 out of 10, but it's really hard to rewatch it now.
Yeah, he's, like, closer to, like, 3 or 4 on my slasher list of favorites.
yeah. So yeah, I guess I can go into my
Yeah,
rating.
yeah.
So going back to the the conversation before I had to go help Molly, the You Might Be the Killer reference. I did feel like it used to be like a parody of just slashers, but now I feel like it's a direct parody of this movie because the counselor aspect and
Well,
like
it's
the way that the story unfolds.
it has a parody of, Friday the 13th and Scream, if you
Yeah, true. So yeah, it is kind of like a mixed bag. All right, so I'll rate this movie. So for me, I think that Friday the 13th is my overall favorite slasher movie. Um, but I'm not a big fan of the genre. So now I would, if it was a genre that I really liked, I would be obliged to be like, okay, this one's the benchmark, so this one gets the 10. But I'm gonna give it a 9. I really really like this movie. I know Jake did not expect that.
we're so getting a divorce because Freddie is my favorite, and he's supposed to be on my team.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's opinion needs to be the same.
Yeah,
Why that's why we
exactly,
do this.
exactly. This here is an echo chamber, sir.
Okay, Jake, what's yours?
Um, well, it's like Tosh and I were just saying a minute ago. It's um, the influence of this movie is like a 10 out of 10. It established most of the tropes that like you might be the killer and just like and most of the slasher tropes you could think of came from this or Halloween or at least like the seeds of it started here. So it's definitely super influential. But like this is not my favorite movie. This is Friday the 13th is probably one of my least favorite slasher, like, franchises. Um, I just this movie just did not hold up for me. It was like, I really had a hard time getting through it this time. So I'm gonna give it a 6. Like, I think it's good. I don't know. It's not to me, it's not fun. It's just kind of like a slog to get through. The special effects are the best part, but that's like th 3 minutes out of an hour and a half, so it's not really worth it for me to go back to this one.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Jason fan either. It took many years before I bought them on Blu-ray to just then.
Oh, yeah. Sorry to interrupt your thing. Those looked beautiful, by the way. The new scans, the new 4K scans of the Blu-ray looked great. Sorry.
It's
Mhm.
okay. Um,
Mm.
yeah, it took me many years before I agreed for Mike to buy them for me for Blu-ray, and I don't know, it's just Jason, he's not very creative, so I will also will give this a 6. Um, I wish they would, had a little bit more of a flashback and talked a little bit more about the mom other than just the ending. So,
So you do like this one better than the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, though, right?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
No, I don't agree with
I
that, but
We both agree. You know what? In the
critics
comments,
agree.
let us know. Are you team Mike and Tosh, or are you team Jake and like
Leatherface.
Leatherface better,
Team
or
Jake and
Texas
Leatherface.
Jace.
Chainsaw, team Leatherface? All right, so the third and final movie.
So I recommended A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors, and this is a childhood favorite of mine. Basically, what happens is it's mainly taken place at Weston Hills, which is a psychiatric home for suicidal children, and they're just trying to help them get through their dreams. They think that that they're just suicidal, and everything's wrong with them. It's like sex, drugs, and rock and roll until Nancy Thompson comes in and trying to tell them the real truth about it. And basically, she helps them defeat Freddy. And the way they had to do it this time is they had to bury his bones on hollow ground. So, yeah, pretty much. All right.
Yeah, I love this one.
Yeah.
I think this is my favorite Freddy movie. I think to me this is like the series firing on all cylinders. Like everything works, everything hits. It doesn't feel like a cliche slasher movie. It just like I love this one so much.
The reason
These are so creative.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to say. The reason one of why this one is like, well, technically this one's my second favorite. It used to be my favorite as a child, but 4 kind of bumped its place. But anyways, the kills are so creative. It just makes the movie, and the one-liners that Freddy has is just like great.
Yeah, this is like when Freddy kind of fully became like Freddy, 'cause in the first 2, they tried to make him, like, super menacing, and that's not
Yep.
really him. It's more
He's
like,
yeah, he's more
"Welcome to prime
iconic.
time, bitch."
Yeah, he's more iconic for his comedy, his sense of humor and his sarcastic tone. That's more Freddy than the menacing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what w or go ahead, Mike.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, I think out of the three of us, this is the my first viewing. I think you guys had seen it, right?
Oh, I've seen them many, many
Yeah.
times.
Right. So, and then I picked that up from what Jake said as well. So, upon a first impression, for me, it was I liked it better than the first two that I've seen. So this is, I'm watching them sequentially with Tasha, even though they're her favorite movies. I just haven't watched them with her yet. I know it's weird, but I've seen four in bits and pieces because that's her favorite. But anyways, with this one, I felt a connection with the characters that I didn't feel in the first two, and not in the same way, anyway. So I really liked that. And then I think Freddy's at his best when he's being that cheese lord over the top, like calling you a bitch and just like sticking you with needles and being like, I don't know. I just thought it was funny. Like there were so many like creative, funny moments where I think he was like a snake at one
Yep.
part.
Yep.
It's like a Freddy
And it's
snake. It's like
yeah, it's
basically the plot of the Chamber of Secrets, but better.
yeah, it's I think it says a lot that the Freddy versus Jason house at Halloween Horror Nights had, like, a bunch of kills from this movie. It had, like, the TV, the primetime kill, it had the snake kill, so it's like, these are some of the most iconic moments from the series in this movie.
Agreed. Yeah, this one was my favorite for a long time, and I think the older I got, it kind of changed. But which kill is your favorite?
I really like I think his name's Philip, the
The
Puppet
puppet?
Master one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh no, the puppet master or the wizard master?
The Puppet
Buick.
Master, the guy that, like, Freddy pulls out his tendons and oh, did I
Okay.
lose you guys?
Yeah, it's Philip. S-
We lost us for a second, and then it came in really fast.
Sorry,
So
you
that's
froze.
actually pretty funny. I think I'm gonna enjoy that part when I
Yeah,
listen
you
back.
froze for a second.
He's like, no, no, no,
No,
no, no, no.
I
Repeat
was just really
that.
excited.
Yeah. He's like,
Yeah,
But yeah,
it's Philip. Yeah, he's one of my favorite kills as well. And then I would have to like the next one would as well, Jennifer, the actor or the
yeah.
actress one. What about you, Mike? Which one was your favorite?
snack.
That he didn't kill anybody with the snake.
It's my favorite part.
I asked what your favorite kill
I don't
was.
know.
Nancy.
Yeah.
I liked it. Let me think. I don't know. When he killed the like super dork wizard guy was pretty
Oh,
funny.
okay. The wizard master Will.
Yeah, because Will was like, you know what? I got power in these dreams too, and he's like, yeah, right, Vic.
Yeah, the Wizard Master was the only dream power. I was like, "Really? That's it? That's what your power is?" Like, I don't know. But, another funny moment is, the goth girl, I forget her name, but she's like,
Karen.
"In my dream what in my dreams, I'm beautiful and bad." Like, I
Yeah.
love that part when she's got the switchblades out.
Yeah. I mean, I felt like like Nancy should have realized that it was not over at the end. Like when she saw her father just like beam down, it was like, come on.
Yeah, like, that part seems super cheesy, and I'm like, "Ok." The first time I watched it, I'm like, "Okay, this movie's gone off the rails," and it's like, "Oh, no, that was meant to seem cheesy and over the top because it was Freddy pretending." I'm like,
Yeah.
I think that was a great kinda misdirect.
I also liked the scene where he was the skeleton scene and they were like fighting in in the car, the junkyard.
Yeah, like, t that's the only, like, special effects part of this movie that I think didn't really age very well is the
Yeah.
skeleton.
Hmm.
'Cause it always makes me think of oh, wait, I won't spoil it because Mike hasn't seen it yet, but Scary Movie 2. Do
Oh
you know the
yeah.
scene I'm talking
Yeah.
about, Tasha?
Yeah.
Okay. That's, like, one of my favorite scenes in Scary Movie 2,
That
but anyway,
movie's
um,
hilarious.
but yeah, it's like I didn't really find the skeleton, like, menacing or scary, I was
Mm-mm.
just kinda like, "This is the best Freddy can do." Well, I guess it is in the real world. He's
I
a
mean,
skeleton, but
I guess, at the time they probably thought that was the best, that they could do because I mean it was like 1986 or some or 87,
Yeah.
so they probably didn't have a lot to work with.
No, I'm sure for the time, like, that
Oh
like, the
yeah,
stop motion overlay was cutting edge. And I think, like, the effects and just I love how much time you get to spend in the dream world in this movie, that's my
yeah,
favorite part about it.
because I feel like you technically don't spend a lot of time until like the very end, usually. Well, not
Yeah,
even
and
in
it's
the first two. Technically, they were awake in those two.
yeah, and in the first 2, it's like the dream world is just a boiler room. In this one, it's like the literal pits of hell and then, like, the
Yeah,
old abandoned house, and, like, there's just so much
so much
there
more. They branch out with it a lot more as movies went.
yeah, and the, um the other thing I wanted to say is, like, did this feel like, to me, this always feels like more of, like, a superhero action movie than a horror movie, and I actually kind of like that because it's basically like these superheroes and Nancy comes in and tells them that they have these powers, and then they have to learn
It,
how to use their powers, and then they all it's like the Avengers, but with dreaming.
I mean,
It's
I
like
never
the
thought of it that way, but yeah, I could see that.
like, I like that this is such I don't know, it feels to me, it's always felt more like an action like a really tight action movie where it's like everything happens for a reason, there's a lot of plot to get through, but it all works for me. But,
I think I get why it's called Dream Warriors because of that. Because it's like it's almost like a horror movie Avengers movie.
yeah,
You think about it.
Do y'all have anything else,
No, I'm good to rate
Jake?
um,
because Molly's
well, I
getting
think
irate.
well, the last thing I think this is the perfect sequel to the first one. I think I love part 2 just because of how crazy it is, but I think this really should have been the sequel.
Yeah, because you never knew what happened to Nancy until the third one.
Yeah, and, like, the way they bring Nancy into the story is kinda like the psychiatrist, and the way they bring her dad in later and, like, have him like, he's the only one that knows how to find Freddy's bones. I thought that was such a creative and, like,
Yeah.
perfect way to, like, bridge the old characters with the new story. Like,
Yeah.
I love this movie as a sequel because it's just so different from the first movie, but it really feels like a continuation of the same story.
Speaking of which, of her dad, real quick, I think he technically lost his job as a sheriff because if you look at his uniform, it says security on it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Tasha, like, okay, I know that's gonna be awesome. So tell me some trivia about this movie that you have memorized because I know it's a lot.
I don't have any.
Okay, never mind.
Just that one piece.
Well,
Yeah,
I
just
honestly noticed it when we watched it.
yeah. I was gonna say when we watched it the whole time, you were like, "Did you know this, that, this, that?" Okay,
I
thanks for
mean,
letting me know.
mm, both. Y'all
Oh,
ready? Oh, go ahead, Jake.
no, my other one of my other favorite Freddy moments is when Kristen, like, wakes up and it's the same scene from the beginning and her mom comes in, and then you hear the guy, like, outside, "Where's the bourbon?" And
Yeah.
then it just cuts to Freddy, "I said, 'Where's the fucking bourbon?'" I
Oh
love
yeah,
that line so much.
I did tell Mike when we was watching it, those, bathroom faucets, I had some of those in my old house or my old trailer that I used to live with my mom and dad. It
Uh-huh.
was kinda
those
freaky
exact
going
faucets.
yeah, these exact bathroom faucets, it's
You
like,
should have decorated them for Halloween and put some, like, razor blades on the top.
yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely not a choking hazard. Burn like a
Um,
baby.
but, anything else?
I
I'm
mean, there's a million other things I could say, but I think I'm done.
Okay. Well, this is, like I said, childhood favorite. I mean, it's pretty much to close to my number one favorite. So I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. I don't give 10s. I've told you this.
God, it just drives me nuts. You're like that horrible teacher that was like, "I didn't give you a 100 because no one's perfect." Like I earned 100 though.
There's always something that you could. make better.
Like what?
Well, like me and Jake was talking about the skeleton,
All
for
right.
instance.
All right, the skeleton. So if the skeleton would have been fine, it would have been a 10 out
Maybe. I
of
don't know.
10.
All right, Mike.
Lost the point of his skeleton. All right, so I've been saving something that I wanted to say. And it's a small rant, but it'll only take me 30 seconds. One thing that this movie deeply made me think about, because this is the first time I've seen it versus you guys have seen it, is I was thinking the whole time about how this is the third movie in a horror movie franchise, and it really feels like they at least gave a shit when they made the movie. And I just haven't seen that in forever. Because like you have all these ones nowadays that start, and one movie will be good, and then they'll make a ton of them, and like the ones after the first one, like you can tell, it's just like take out your wallet and give me some cash. Take out your wallet and give me some cash. And then you walk out of the movie and you're like, wow, hopefully the next one's not shite. But then you go see the next one. Anyways, so I know that's less of a talk about this movie, but you guys have way more insight on this. I just wanted to say I wanted to thank this movie for giving a shit. And my rating is 7 out of 10. I really like it. I'm actually going to bump Texas Chainsaw Massacre to a 6 because I like this movie a little bit better. And Jake gave my movie a 6, and I was just giving his a 7 to be nice, and he gave mine a 6. So there you go.
Well, Leatherface and I feel personally attacked. He is crying in the back room currently. Um, I don't know. I think I'm gonna give this one a 9 as well. Like, it's not a perfect movie. It's not like my favorite horror movie of all time, but it's up there. Like, it's this movie is just so much fun to go through, and like everything about the plot is perfect. Like the way they incorporated old characters and made like in a horror movie, it gave like the hero characters a personality, and it gave them power, so you cared more about them and it fleshed them out. Like that alone is like something you don't see in most horror movies.
Oh
Pretty es-
no.
especially for there being like 6 characters that all have names, and most of them I actually remembered, which is also rare for horror movies. And but yeah, it's I and well, like I said earlier, this is like to me, this is the height of the series. Just this is Freddy firing on all cylinders. The kills are amazing. The dream world's awesome. The plot is super tight and interesting. Um, it's other than maybe New Nightmare, the series doesn't reach this height for me again.
Um, I think Mike's gonna think differently when he watches Freddy's Dead for sure about like giving a shit. Because I feel like that
Yes,
one just falls completely.
100%. Like I like 4 and 5's okay, but like 6 is terrible. I've only watched it like twice ever, I think.
It took me many years to like the Dream Child, but I feel like once Mike watches Freddy Dead, he's gonna think differently. At least on that one.
But, I mean, to your point earlier, Mike, I think the reason the 3rd one felt like they gave a shit is because Wes Craven actually came back and, like, wrote it,
Oh,
at least.
really?
Yeah, well, the rest of them, I don't think Craven did until New Nightmare.
Yeah, I think that's the only other one other than the 1st one that he was
Yep.
like, did
Mhm.
anything with.
Yep.
All right. Well, I think I'm always getting irate. So if you guys want to do recommendations, we can end the
Yep.
recording and Tasha can.
Yep.
Okay. So I'll let Tasha go first.
Jake's the oh, we're going to
Oh
do
yeah. Go ahead, Jake.
Oh, yeah, next month, I'm picking the theme, and we're going back to the '90s. Um, I had 2 movies, and I still can't decide, so I'm gonna flip a pog and see which one I pick. Okay, my recommendation next month is Gremlins 2.
Okay.
Oh, what was it between? I'm curious.
Well, it was Silence of the Lambs, which I'll probably recommend next month, but
Okay.
both good movies, I think.
All right, Tasha.
Mine's gonna be Wes Craven's New Nightmare. So technically, yes, it's another Freddy movie, but
Eh,
you don't this one does not follow the story.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, this one's like a completely different thing.
All right, you guys are both gonna be mad at my pick,
Oh,
but
Lord.
it fits and it's something new and fresh.
Oh, okay.
So my recommendation is Perfect Blue. You guys don't know what it is, but when you look it up, you'll know what it is.
Let me take a wild guess. You have not seen this.
No,
Yeah.
no, I have. I've seen Perfect Blue. I know you're looking at me and squinting. I've seen it. I watched it in the lounge. But anyways, I'm excited for Jake in particular to see it, and he'll know why once he IMDb's it. So,
Oh, it's gonna
uh,
be one of those movies.
yeah.
Is it going to be like Suspiria all over again?
No, no, no. It's a good one. It's a good movie.
Well, your good is different than Jake's good. From Suspiria and Midsommar, you should know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Midsommar was the worst actually. Suspiria was better than that.
All right. Well, all right. Well, that'll do it for episode 15 of the Pennywine podcast. If you made it to the end, then God bless you because, you know, small channels like Found Flicks, we got to support those guys. So go check him out. And
Yeah.
our sponsor today is Jake Newman's website over there. Go
Oh
ahead.
yeah. Well, if you're new to the podcast, I make t-shirts. I actually have well, horror t-shirts, and I have a t-shirt themed around all three of the movies this past month, and one of the movies next month. So yeah, if you like subtle horror t-shirts that you can wear in public and they're not covered in like blood drips and shit, check it out. It's jakensteinapparel.com.
Hell yeah. All right. Me and Tasha both own one of the shirts that we bought with our own money, and we really like them. So have, go check them out. Thanks, guys. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.